And that's what meditation brings us. It takes us from the temporal of space and time to the eternal. And, I'm going to turn on my microphone. Which is for the online community. So, that which is eternal, those eternal frequencies, that is of the divine. The temporal frequencies are of duality of the human experience, and that's what we're letting go of. The only place that you can feel anxiety or stress is in the temporal and not in the eternal. So communion with spirit, other types of meditation such as activations, or inquiry, or questioning, or seeking providence. Those are where you're becoming aware of, I'd like an answer, a divine providential answer in a particular direction. So we're sitting to become aware of that. We'll be doing a stillness meditation, which may show up as answered questions from a providential awareness, or it may just show up as bathing in the eternal frequencies without efforting at all. So what we're going to do is I will center us, and then we will move into the stillness, then we will come out in a wave of prayer. Before we begin, for those of you at home, I'm going to invite you to get comfortable, put your device in Do Not Disturb. For those of you here, I'll ask you to also make sure that any of these devices are either in meditation mode or in Do Not Disturb mode. We're going to begin, like I said, with our centering, then we'll move into our meditation. If you hear every word I say, wonderful. If you don't hear a word I say, wonderful. If you doze off and take a little nap, wonderful. Whatever it is, I just want you to feel comfortable. We're going to do our best to let go of all thoughts. When we let go of thoughts from the surface mind, then we're letting go of the temporal world, and we're returning to our higher consciousness, or the divine mind. So with that being said, the rest of it's going to be self-explanatory. I'm just going to invite you to get comfortable, and the intention I'd like you to join with me ahead of time. There's whatever intention you'd like to bring to the meditation, but that it's a joyous, relaxing, deep, profound, effortless, easy experience that you really get to enjoy. And that nothing will distract you. We're going to let go of all distractions, and I'm going to go ahead, and we are now ready to begin. And as always, I like to begin by first giving ourselves permission to relax. Just saying to ourselves in our minds, I give myself permission to relax. As we invite, as we evoke, and as we allow the divine energies of peace, love, beauty, and grace, wellness, and goodness to wash over us and to rise up from within us. Remembering that we have no place to go. We have nothing to do except completely surrender into the deepest states of relaxation, rejuvenation, and revelation. We take a moment without changing anything, but just becoming aware of your breath and your breathing exactly as it is. Becoming aware of the inhalation, the exhalation. And feel that soft breeze as it travels in and out, whether it's through your mouth or through your nose. And solely and only through intention. No efforting. Allow your breath to be in balance and to expand. Each cycle becoming fresher, deeper, softer, stronger, all on its own. For the moment, I'm going to invite you to join me as we allow the exhalation to be the vehicle of release. To release any tension or stress, dormant or otherwise, from any moment earlier in the week, the year, allowing it to release from all muscles, bones, cells, emotions, and even the mind, simply by exhaling. And as we inhale, we draw in the eternal energies, the divine frequencies. Exhaling, letting go of any tension. Inhale, drawing in the energy of serenity, tranquility. On your next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to join me as we let go of all efforting, all trying. Inhaling the energy of ease and freedom. We don't need to know how or why. We simply allow it to be. On the next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to join me as we let go of figuring and analyzing. Inhaling the energy of clarity. And on the next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to join me as we let go of time. Exhaling, letting go of the past. Letting go of the future. Letting go of all distractions, inner and outer. As we exhale and let go of the present. Inhaling the eternal. The eternal light, the brilliance, the beauty, the peace, the harmony, and the love of God, of the soul. I invite you to bring your awareness to the top of your head, to your crown. And imagine your crown is wide open, like the dome of an observatory. Imagine now that your breathing at the inhalation is coming in through your crown and flooding down into your heart. And as you exhale, it rises from your heart and returns to the very heart of God. The breath of beauty, breath is now in sync, cycling the eternal frequency as you inhale the light, exhale, and feel your heart beginning to grow and glow as a contagion of relaxation and begins to expand throughout your entire physical body. You can feel all the cells illuminating from the inside out as the light washes over us from the outside in. As the heart overflows with joy, beauty, and peace, that energy makes its way down into your toes, into your heels and ankles, and begins to rise into your calves and shins. All the muscles, ligaments, tendons, and joints flooding with relaxation and rejuvenation. You can feel it rising from your thighs and hamstrings into your hips and the entire torso, from your lower belly and lower back, softening, strengthening, as waves of rejuvenation and relaxation rise up into your midsection, your stomach, your adrenals, your solar plexus and middle back, all flooding with light, strength, with energy making its way into your shoulders, cascading down your biceps and triceps, into your palms and fingers. And you can feel the energy flooding up into the back of your neck, sides of your neck and throat. Everything opening, softening and strengthening as the energy rises into your cheeks, onto your brow, down the bridge of the nose. And as the face tingles with light, you can feel yourself letting go of all expression as relaxation continues to take us deeper. The scalp tingling, and the physical body continuing to radiate in light, and waves of light rippling into the emotional body with calm, divine strength, compassion, and love. And that energy ripples out into the mental body as waves of clarity dissolve all thoughts, all to-dos, what was, opening to providence, the call of the soul. And you can feel the energy rippling out into your bliss body, the energy of your soul, and the energy of our oneness with the divine. Feeling the eternal frequencies growing, expanding. Timelessness, eternality, beauty, stillness. And should your mind wander at any time, simply bring it back to the inhalation, drawing in the light into your heart, the exhalation, swirling the light in your beingness. As we continue to go even deeper and rise even higher. As we bring our awareness back to our breath, the inhalation, drawing in even more of the divine frequencies. And we allow our energy body to expand. I invite you to join me on the next inhalation. To imagine you are drawing in the energy of beauty. Inhaling that energy through your crown, allowing it to flood your heart, and then spread throughout your entire beingness. The energy, the frequency, the quality of beauty. You may see colors, or even smell a fragrance, or just feel tingles. However you experience, just bathing in beauty, all the way down to your toes. Allowing that beauty to flood into all the nooks and crannies, spaces and places of your physical, emotional, and mental bodies as we ever so gently shift. And on the next inhalation, imagine you are drawing in the energy of peace. Peace of body, peace of mind. Allowing it to flood into every space, muscle, organ, and tissue. Notice returning to the beginning. Flooding into your feet, your hands, your heart. And on your next inhalation, I invite you to feel the energy of your soul, your divinity, beyond our personality, beyond our age, gender, name, beyond any of the attributes, but not excluding our human self. Feel the energy of your soul, unbounded, unlimited, passion, purpose. We take a moment as we bathe in the openness, the freedom, the spaciousness, the beauty, the peace, the joy, and we remember the truth. These are the frequencies of God Almighty, all good, all love. We take a moment and we allow ourselves, without needing to travel anywhere, become fully aware of home, in the very heart, the very mind of God, of what it means to be born in the image and likeness of the divine. We take a moment as we open to this great knowing, great remembering, that wherever we are, the entirety of the kingdom of heaven is. We choose to feel it, see it, hear it, know it. Grateful to know that each and every one of us is a divine harbinger, messenger, born in the image and likeness of God Almighty, knowing that you're not speaking of the personality or the ego. We are speaking of the essence that is uncorrupted and fully pure. We take a moment as we open to this in deep gratitude, knowing that something wonderful has taken place just by relaxing, by opening every morsel and muscle of our beingness to our true nature, our divine nature, the real reality. And that each and every one of us has everything we need, all gifts, all talents, all abilities, already coded and loaded within our spiritual DNA. And as we say yes to the providential experience of inspiration, revelation, illumination, we continue to grow and expand heaven on earth through and as our lives. And so I invite you on your next inhalation to draw those eternal frequencies, energies, down through your crown, through your heart, to the bottoms of your feet. Exhaling from the bottoms of your feet back up. And on your next inhalation, I invite you to find the bottom of your energy field. In general, about a meter, maybe 4 or 5 feet beneath the bottoms of our feet, where we anchor heaven on earth. Inhaling, drawing the energy down to the bottom of your energy field. Exhaling, feeling the cycle and circulation of good, of divinity. And it's from a place of deep thanksgiving at knowing that there is no efforting in the divine. There is simply a surrender to ever-expanding good. And we allow it to continue to grow and glow as the rest of this day, the rest of And so it is. Amen. And whenever you feel ready, if you haven't already, you can open your eyes. You can continue to relax if you like. We're getting ready to start our music and message service in about 4 minutes. We're going to turn up the lights, we're going to open the door, we're going to let people in. If you're streaming live at home or wherever you may be, we're not going to cut the feed, we're going to leave it going, so we will be starting in about 4 minutes. If you need to use the restroom and you're here, the restrooms are up there. And we will be back.
That'll be beautiful. Yeah.
Good morning.
and I'd like to welcome you to Soul Center OC, a place where we come together for love and harmony and visioning and to make the world a better place. So let's start today with your Soul Center declaration. It's inside your program on the first page. If you could all rise, and we'll say it together. There is one life, and that life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. I am here to receive the divine message for me. I am awake, I am tapped in, and I am transformed. Yay. Seated. So we do have some announcements, and our lovely Lisa is going to share them with us.
Hi everybody, happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Beautiful day to see all these wonderful faces here. I love a packed house. So, Reverend Pete's Daily Affirmative Prayer streams live on Soul Center's Facebook page or Zoom, 9:30 a.m. Pacific daily, except Sundays, because of course he's here with us. The link is on our newsletter or at soulcenteroc.com. A Course in Miracles, you can join throughout the year at any time. It's with Akili Beckwith on Tuesdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. And details are also on soulcenteroc.com. Oh, wonderful. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., we will have our monthly visioning call. Please join us as we come together to vision our future. We're still looking for that permanent building, aren't we? Yeah. Details are under About Our Vision on the website. And of course, sign up on our website for our weekly newsletter so you're always in the know for all Soul Center news. Help us thrive by volunteering. Go to soulcenteroc.com, our welcome table, which is right outside. It's so easy to sign up that way. Or see Birgit to sign up. Right there, beautiful lady over there. Join one of our soul circles to meet others in this lovely, lovely community via Zoom by contacting Scott at soulcirclesoc@gmail.com. And now,
One more little thing about the visioning call. We do have some little pieces of paper out on the welcome table if you want to get your information that way and how to join us on the call. So,
perfect. And now our congregational song. Well, I guess not.
you need your singer. Yes, before you know it.
It happened.
You know, Rena Cervantes is our guest.
I love Rena.
Rena Cervantes is our guest today, and she just had a baby 4 weeks ago, and her baby's 4 weeks today, and she's there inside the little room. Here she comes.
Good morning. I got a baby that needs me with all of her being right now. She's in the next room. How's everybody feeling? Great. All right, this song is for all of us. I really hope you can sing with me. I'd really appreciate that. It's called Get Ready. Eyes haven't seen, and ears haven't heard the kind of blessing that's about to fall on me. 'Cause victory's here, kick defeat out the door. God's doing a new thing. Get ready for more of the Lord. 'Cause I'm getting ready to see. Come on. Something I've never seen. Come on. I'm getting ready to see. Oh, oh. Something I've never seen.
our reading is from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Resurrection, rising from a belief in death, a restoring or a renewal. We recognize that life is an unfoldment and must necessarily culminate in a victory over death. Jesus made it plain that we should do even greater things. He taught us that the kingdom of heaven is not reached through the gateway of death, but by overcoming our limited beliefs while here, by recognizing the Christ within. The Christ knows that their individuality is indestructible, that they are an eternal being, living forever in the bosom of the divine. The Christ triumphs over death in the grave, breaking through the tomb of human limitation into the dawn of eternal expansion. The Christ rises from the ashes of human hopes, pointing the way to a greater realization of life. The Christ is always triumphant, is ever a victor, is never defeated, needs no champion. The Christ places their hand in the outstretched hand of the universe and walks unafraid through life. Let us turn within and pray. I am so grateful for this glorious Easter day. So grateful for the Soul Center and all the congregants. Grateful for Patricia and Jessica and her beautiful family here today for Easter Sunday. I am grateful for the beauty of nature in spring season, and grateful for just being here together in such celebration. God is everything. God is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. God is love, beauty, joy, and deep peace. I know I am unified with God, and that all of you are unified with this brilliant source, God and the divine, and this beautiful intelligence. I bless Brian on the keyboards, Jesse on the guitar, Rena with her beautiful voice. I bless Rena's beautiful newborn, Soleil. I bless the songbirds. I bless Jerome on the camera. I bless Reverend Keith for his inspirational message and his enthusiasm and his brilliance. I bless the prayer chaplains. I see so many here today. Lori, Susan, I saw Lynn. Anyone else? And I just bless everyone here. And I bless the live streamers. I believe my husband Bruce is online. I hope you made it. And everyone watching this in the archives. And just bless this service and bless our congregation. And so it is. Amen. So it is. Amen. Okay, you know what time it is. It's affirmation time. So hopefully you guys have your pamphlet. And it'll also be on the screen for those live streaming. So please stand. I'll speak a line, and then please repeat it after me. I guess it's time for affirmation time. Please repeat it after me with sincerity and acceptance. My life is the perfect unfoldment of a divine idea.
My life is a perfect unfoldment of a divine idea.
The resurrected Christ consciousness is alive as me.
The resurrected Christ consciousness is alive as me.
I encounter higher dimensions of love, peace, joy, and abundance.
I encounter higher dimensions of love, peace, joy, and abundance.
Spiritual truth is revealed through my spiritual practice.
Spiritual truth is revealed through my spiritual practice.
Health and wholeness expressed through me as me.
Health and wholeness expressed through me as me.
In all things I am grateful.
In all things I am grateful.
And so it is, and so it is. Amen. Amen. You may now be seated. Okay. For those of you who would like private, confidential prayer, a bunch of us will be available on the patio. Anyone in a blue shawl, we have Susan, me, Lori, Lynn. So if you need a prayer, especially on Easter Sunday, we're here for you. So we'll see you outside, hopefully. After service.
congregation and all of their loving prayers for me and my family. It was a smooth labor and delivery. Baby Soleil is very healthy. She's 4 weeks today. I'm so grateful for everybody's generosity and for their words of affirmation and encouragement. You guys are a wonderful community. I'm so, so, so grateful for all of you. And it's a pleasure to be here today. I'd be afraid if I'm not alone. Life is never easy, the rest is unknown. And until now for me it's been hands against stone. So teaching every moment, searching for what to believe. Coming out of the dark, I finally see the light now, and it's shining on me. Coming out of the dark, I know the love that saved me is shared with me. Starting again is part of the plan. And I'll be so much stronger holding again. Step by step I'll make it through. I know I can. And it's never easier, but I can feel you near on the way. Coming out of the dark, I finally see the light now, and it's shining on me. Coming out of the dark, I know the love that saved me is sharing with me forever, forever. Can nobody stop and watch me forever, forever. Shining like a love, forever, forever. Shine on the light. Oh, your love is on the table. No matter what we face, coming out of the dark, I see the light shining on me, and it's shining on me, shining on me, shining on me. Coming out of the dark, I know the love that saved me is shared with me. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, Soul Center here. Good morning, Rena. That was glorious, and you are so thankful for Rena and her reward. And of course, the boys. You guys, you know we love you even more than last week. We love all of you. We are a community that keeps evolving and growing. Good morning, Soul Center. I'm Reverend Keith. If you're new, welcome to Soul Center. We are an Agape affiliate, which means we're part of the New Thought Ageless Wisdom Teachings. And some of you, it's actually been a minute since I've said this, but we honor the golden thread of mysticism that is found at the highest levels of each religion. Each religion has within it, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, whether it's Buddhism, Hinduism, all of them, shamanism, they have a mystical sect. And at the mystical sect, the golden thread lies. And in that golden thread is the truth teachings that every mystic, every avatar, every prophet Every ascended master has known the secrets of truth that are not beguiled or limited by dogmatic teachings. They are unlimited truth teachings, and they are said in different ways, different shapes, and different forms. And as we're on this auspicious month, where we're celebrating Ramadan, where we're celebrating Passover, where we're celebrating today Easter, we're celebrating the mystical teachings. As we celebrate Easter, we're looking at the mystical teaching of the resurrection. And the resurrection is a teaching that most people, for years and years, people would make documentaries on biblical, scriptural things like, was, Noah's ark, was it real? Where's the ark? We gotta find the ark. We gotta find remnants of that. We gotta find the tablets that Moses brought down from the hill. People get distracted in the temporal world by the physical things. We want to know, was it real in space-time? And that's where we drop the ball. We don't want to find what's real in space-time. We want to find what's real in the eternal. What happens in space-time comes from creation. Everything that's happening, this is your canvas, this is your life, where you get to apply the teachings of the avatars, of the ones, the masters that came before us, like Jesus the Christ. We don't say Jesus Christ, we're very deliberate in saying Jesus the Christ because we know that Christ consciousness is the same as Buddha consciousness. Christ consciousness is something available to all, as the master teacher suggested when he said, "These and greater things ye shall do." So as part of the New Thought Ageless Wisdom teaching, what we ask of our congregants, what we ask of our community, is to heal and grow through joy. There is an evolutionary impulse in space and time. So just in case you didn't know, this is space and time because there's space and there's time. So this is space and time for humans. Eternality is when you let go of space and time and you allow yourself to return to the beginning. And the beginning has nothing to do with space or time. The beginning is eternality. So when we speak our word from the beginning, we're allowing ourselves to return to the place of creation. Even science, with the Big Bang Theory, that says from the space smaller than the point of a pin, all of a sudden, creation erupted and the cosmos was born. And after billions of years, all of a sudden galaxies and suns and planets started orbiting and taking form. All of that is based on the law of creation, an idea that came into form. We are microcosmic expressions of the energy of creation. We, born in the image and likeness of God, which has nothing to do with your personality, your gender, your religion, your race, has everything to do with the eternal being of your essence. That essence. You are here, the game of life is to find out who you are. You came here in human form. We all took a little amnesia pill before we got here because we wanted to have an adventure and rediscover who we are. You are a divine emanation of the Most High, but most of us got trapped in the space-time continuum of the illusionary world of cause and effect. And most of us have made the mistake of thinking that we are going to allow the effect that then return to us as a cause instead of returning to first cause. First cause is the beginning. It is the eternal. When you settle for what is before you, when you allow the world to influence you instead of you influencing the world, you will lead a not very impressive life. If you want to live an impressive life, you will impress upon the world your good. You will not allow the world to impress upon you. This is what all the teachers were saying. That's why the theme of the month is intending and settling for the best. And as you've heard Reverend Michael say from time to time, that we're not dealing with an attention deficit syndrome. We're dealing, for the most part in the human experience, with an intention deficit syndrome, where people just simply don't take the time to reflect on what is the divine idea of your life. The divine idea of your life comes from the mind of God. The mind of God carries with it only bliss and beauty. Christ consciousness is what we anchor in the human realm so that you can experience being in the world but not of the world. What is being in the world but not of the world? To be in the world of space-time. Now, if you flip and you go from space-time to time-space, it changes everything. Space-time says that there is space and something is going to unfold over time. Time-space says there is timelessness, which seems like a contradiction, and then you get to have control over what happens in space. It's a radical difference between space-time and time-space, but it allows you to go to the beginning and start to bring things into space-time. You are a byproduct of a microcosmic Big Bang. There was the Big Bang that created the cosmos according to science, and then there was the Big Bang that created you. The Big Bang is when the sperm and the egg came together and you were born into existence in human form. That was to give you this vehicle. This is your avatar to play in the world of effects. You get to be in the world but not of the world by remembering and keeping the cart behind the horse so that you go, I'm going to return to the beginning. You know, remember in the olden days, I don't know if they still, I'm sure they probably still, or maybe you could get them in an antique store or something, the old Etch-a-Sketches where you take the knobs and you, a little line and you can have it go, and then you're like, oh, I don't like this, and then you check it, and you get a new picture. Well, sometimes you gotta do that in the human, you gotta shake it out, you gotta do what we do in our spiritual practice, and the topic for today, which is rising from the ashes and burning with desire. The burning desire is the key thing. If everybody allowed themselves to be burning on fire with the desire of their soul, and you let that pull you into the evolution of your human experience, you're going to experience through joy. You're going to experience through fun. You're going to experience through goodness. But what do most people do? They associate and become connected to, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a they, I'm a he, I'm a she, whatever your pronoun may be, I'm human, and this limited package of my humanness is what I'm going to do from, and then I might even get into some race conscious or group conscious ideas, because I'm this, I can't have access to that, or because I have got this going on in my life, there's these, and we come up with all the reasons and all the excuses of why we can't thrive. The mystic with the Christ consciousness anointing, of which every single one of us is. There's nobody here, there's not one person on the planet that does not have full access to the Christ consciousness of your own being. It is in your spiritual DNA. As a matter of fact, I'm going to indoctrinate every one of you, all of those of you streaming in here, and all of those of you sitting here, to allow yourself to be spiritually audacious, to have the audacity to seek your good. What does it mean to be spiritually audacious? It means you got to be bold. You got to be bold, and you got to claim what you're after. And to be bold and claim what you're after means you have to be still. Be still and know that I am. That is the key ingredient. So most of us have made the error, and by error, I mean it's just a mistake. And when we go through our spiritual teachings, and to become an agape minister, you have to study all the religions, whether all the ones that I have already mentioned, and even more of the mystical teachings, and you start to discover that A, at the mystical level, they're all saying the same thing, and B, you start to see where a lot of words and a lot of interpretations have been misdirected or misguided, like the word sin. The Aramaic Hebrew translation of the word sin is mistake. Made a mistake. I was supposed to have got directions to go to wherever I was going to. They said turn right, and I turned left. I made a mistake. It's a sin. Now you're going to go to hell. No, you don't go to hell. Hell is not a place. It is an experience of separation from the divine. When you are angry, when you are frustrated, when you are sad, when you are depressed, technically, that's hell. Hell is just not feeling the bliss of heaven. Heaven is omnipresent. It is always happening. It is not a space or a place that you go to. It is a consciousness that you allow. When we speak of heaven on earth, we're speaking of being in the world, but not of the world. Now, some people have heaven on earth experiences here and there. Some people, we go on that retreat and we have a mystical experience for a short while, and then we come back and we're back in the real world. The real world, which is the fake world, because this is an illusionary experience, but it sure seems real. It really feels real. So to be spiritually audacious means I'm going to have the audacity to claim my birthright and the inevitable experience, because everyone, they also say in Scripture, the chosen people. The chosen people are those who choose. When I choose to be one with the divine, I will be one with the divine. Those are the chosen people. All of us are the chosen people, should we choose to choose and be truly choosers. So, choose to choose. And then when you choose to choose, be choosy. And to be choosy means that you're going to choose the divine in all of your experiences. The ego is comprised of the trauma body, and the trauma body is where you hold erroneous ideas, subconscious issues that have not been transmuted, and they create a filter through which you'll have your experience. So if anybody's ever been betrayed or hurt or had something go wrong in their life, and you store that away as, ooh, this is the way it is, and then that is going to affect you through every area of your life. So, for example, before I get there, we want to make sure that we set the intention that we're going to have divine right seeing, divine right perception, and divine right knowing on a regular basis. If you set the intention that I am not going to be distracted by my trauma body, I am not going to be distracted by the temporal world, that I'm going to allow myself to have divine right seeing, divine right hearing, divine right knowing, divine right perception on a regular basis, which is going to mean that you are going to come up against your trauma body or your fight or flight response that keeps you safe. Why am I putting safe in quotes? Because oftentimes what we do to protect ourselves, the very nature of protecting yourself means that something is against you. There is nothing against anything in the divine, but in the world it sure seems like things are against us. If you look out into the temporal world, where infinite possibilities exist, infinite possibilities exist in the world. This is why I'm going to charge you in your audacity of spiritual growth to know that in my world, meaning your world, our world, I'm only interested in infinite benevolent possibilities. When you orb your world, and when you steep your world, which is your own physicality, physical, emotional, and mental body, and your body of affairs, as you steep your world, and don't get distracted by the world's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. You've got 8 billion people experiencing their own cosmology in the world with their own trauma bodies and their own issues of, oh, so-and-so's against me, whether that's as an individual or as a group. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have compassion, we don't care, and we just do this. It means that we open to fortifying ourselves, becoming aware that as I rise, all rise. But how do we rise? The mythical story of the phoenix rising from the ashes is shared throughout so many different traditions. It's in the Greek-Roman mythology, it's in Jewish mysticism, it's in Egyptian mythology, it's in Persian mythology. You find the phoenix rising from the ashes, this mythical bird that had these plumes of beautiful red and orange flowers and was able to transform itself. As a matter of fact, it practiced transmography. We're all transmographers, in case you didn't know it. What is a transmographer? What is transmography? To be a transmographer means you transform in mystical and magical ways. Now that's what we do in our community. To the best of our ability, we choose to transform as transmographers in mystical and magical ways. If you do it the other way, in the human, arduous way, it's just not so fun. You stub a lot of toes, you lose some friends. It's very arduous. You start believing in they are against me. You start believing in lack and limitation. You start believing in things, whether that's they are against me, or whether the disease is against me, or whether the economy is against me, or whether whatever it is that so-and-so is against me. We want to steep. Now it takes willingness, it takes sincerity, it takes divine strength, it takes a compassion for others and the self in order to do this. But if you allow all of what I described, which would also be called divine strength, there's a lot, where a lot of religions kind of erred, but for probably a good reason, is when they say that it's blasphemous to say that ye are gods. They say it's blasphemous to do certain things as though, it's blasphemous to say that you are the Christ. When we know that Christ, or Messiah consciousness, it wasn't Jesus Christ as his last name, it was Jesus the Christ, because he earned the title as a transmographer to transmute and be in the world but not of the world. And then what do? When you are empowered, when you reach wholeness within your own self, you've got one hand over here to help whoever would like to be helped, and you have one hand over here with the divine, and you're continually ascending. As you move into mastery, when you have no more issues, and you don't have to wait till you have no more issues, because that might be a while, out in space-time, but if you flip it to time-space, you can speed things up. The paradox here is that if you try to fool Mother Nature, if you try to fool the divine, you're not going to get very far in terms of, patience and faith, willingness and sincerity. Those are the key ingredients. And this is why some of the religions would be like, if the ego gets a hold of some of the spiritual truths and tries to manipulate it for its own sake, that's where the whole blasphemy thing comes from. It's because I'm going to say from my ego, I'm born in the image and likeness of God, and then I'm going to abuse my power for my own selfish ways, and I am going to utilize that for my own good. And that would be going against the laws that govern the universe, because the laws that govern the universe are cooperative, they are serendipitous, they are synergistic, and they are good all the time. There is no bad and there is no hell in the divine. There is only all good all the time. God does not judge and God does not punish. That belongs to space-time. That does not belong to the eternal. Some of the misinterpretations of Scripture that have brought forward the misunderstanding is because the laws that govern the universe, whether it's cause and effect, law of attraction, karma, or the law of manifestation. If you violate a law, there will be a consequence. I know most of our parents in the room, parents streaming in, are going to be consequences. We know that that's kind of a thing, but consequences are, if I'm out of integrity, there will be something to bring me back into integrity, and that integrity is the divine inertia that's pulling you into wholeness. So you can be pulled into wholeness, kicking and screaming, or you can be pulled into wholeness by saying, oh yes, I'm going to follow the divine idea of my life, and I am going to surrender it to more good than ever before, which means you become self-aware to the degree that you know what you're really after. So not too long ago, I was working with a gentleman. He was having some issues with his wife over time. They'd been married for probably around 12, 15 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. And he had started exploring other options. Their marriage had started getting stagnant somewhere after several years of being married. And he was looking for vitality. He was looking for connection. He was looking for something. And so he wasn't getting it in the marriage. So he decided to possibly, let's explore separation, and let's explore time out, and let's explore exploring other options. And, which is, I guess that happens. But when you look into that, what's the intention? Where are you headed? Do you even know what you're after? Did you even know or become self-aware as to when the stagnation began And what is it that would make it not be stagnant? What would it be to rejuvenate and invigorate the relationship? To become very still and know that I'm not going to have knee-jerk reactions and try to find things out in the world to satiate things in my world that I don't even know what I'm satiating. So for example, oftentimes, so when you have a false idea of something that you're after, it's oftentimes, some of you may resonate with this. I used to have a big sweet tooth, and in the old days, and I could be one of those people. I was the boo-hooer who would get the Haagen-Dazs after the bad thing happened, the breakup, whatever. And yep, that was me. Or the cake. I could put down an entire cake. I could put down an entire pie, like no problem. What I didn't know was when you go for the cookie, the cake, the pie, whatever it is, which we're not going to make them bad or wrong, it's fine to have your cookie or cake, whatever. But why? I started to notice that when life wasn't sweet, I would start to look for something sweet. I didn't know that in my subconscious, I wanted sweetness from life, but I was trying to get sweetness from food. And so you're never going to satiate sweetness in life from food. It's never going to happen. As a matter of fact, on the spiritual path of enlightenment, food is going to slowly but gently kind of make its way out of your beingness. You don't have to worry about that. It takes quite a while to evolve from that stage to become a breatharian, but it does happen. There are mystics on the planet that don't need to eat or understand the real meaning of food. Food is fuel and it's healing. And that's what it is. It's, we've made it into this big, social and parties and all this stuff, which is fine. It's good. You can have that. It's very fun to do that. But we want to make sure, there was a time in my life when I had gone through the 6th dark night of my soul. A dark night of the soul is when you are coming up against something in your life that is deep. There are deep wounds, deep erroneous beliefs that keep you separate from the divine. And in my case, and in many cases, that brings about a depression, and it can also bring about thoughts of not wanting to be in the world. When you don't feel the presence of the divine in your life, and if it gets to a point where you're really feeling an absence of the presence, when you're feeling an absence of the presence, and I want to just back and digest that for a moment. God is omnipresent. The presence is there all the time. You have never been forsaken. You have never been judged. You have never been blamed. You have never been shamed. You have never had anything withheld from you. The only person that can withhold anything from themselves is themselves. So knowing that, the presence is never an absence, but you can feel an absence of the presence. And that is when we start to believe in things that are against me, things that are bad in the world. So we want to make sure that our spiritual practice is designed. And if you look at all the religions, this is what the holidays are for. What are the holidays for? We're not here, as fun as it is, if you actually look at what is an Easter egg hunt? What does an egg represent? New beginnings, rebirth. It's not to find chocolate and put bunny ears on and hop around and, all of that is fine, but maybe we want to find out what resurrection really means. So what does the Easter egg hunt really mean? When you allow yourself to understand, or if you look at Passover, and you're looking at the Israelites moving into freedom from bondage. That's not about, let's go. I remember I was in Egypt not too long ago, and everybody wants to know, is it true? What was going on? And, where are the Egyptians doing this? And then take me to the place, and I want to find the facts about stuff. I want to fact. So the same thing that was going on with the movies. We got to find out, is Noah's Ark really true? Are the 10 Commandments, where are the tablets? Or where, if you go to Israel and you go to the Church of the Sepulchre, the Holy Sepulchre, you're going to find tons of people go in there. They go in there and they want to experience, they want to see the tomb where Jesus was laid because it's built on that area, which it is fascinating and it holds a great energy. But am I being distracted by the facts and the details, or am I allowing myself to go into what it really means? The The phoenix rising from the ashes means I'm allowing the fire of God to burn off and cleanse lack and limitation, erroneous ideas and erroneous beliefs, fears, worries, and doubts, and be born anew. Come forward. Now, the story of the phoenix rising from the ashes is the phoenix would do it over and over again, which was symbolic of the evolution. It's the evolutionary journey in the human experience. You're going to understand what it means to die without dying. You're going to allow a death of my worries, doubts, and fears. I'm going to allow a death of my separation from the divine so that I may be in the world, but not of the world. So as I was sitting with the gentleman, with his wife, and they were contemplating separation or divorce, it was like, well, what are you after? What are you really after? I just want to feel alive again. And when I'm with so-and-so, it makes me feel alive again. And so we're going into false positive territory. False positive territory means I'm eating a cupcake instead of getting sweetness from life. I want sweetness from life. I need to define to myself, what does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be filled with passion? And what does it mean to have a sacred, holy relationship, not only with my significant other, but with everyone. Everyone on the planet. I'm going to invite you all to join me with the charge today. You're going to allow yourself to have sacred, holy relationships with everyone. Now, I bet is everybody cool? Like, are we going to all say, yes, we're going to have sacred, holy relationships with everybody?
Yes!
Okay. That was about 90%, which is good. Some of you are like, well, you don't know so-and-so. And yes, so-and-so is worthy of this. But when you say yes to the divine idea, that means 9.5 times, maybe 9.999% of the time, you're going to have to let go of an idea, a belief, a habit, or a pattern in your own energy body to allow that to fulfill itself. And that's where people go, oh, I didn't know I was going to actually have to evolve. I didn't know I was actually going to have to, transform. I thought they're going to change. I have to change? Yes, you have to change. For everything in your life, you will be the one who changes. I know it's very tempting to think, oh no, but if they would just do this and they would just do that and they would get their act together, if they would read this book, if they would take this class, if they would just learn how my world operates and correspond accordingly, and then everything would be great. And then you'd be just stuck in a world where you're allowing your limitations and your doubts and your fears to put you in prison, and that's what bondage is. That's what the story of Passover is. You're being imprisoned by the Pharaoh of your worries, doubts, and fears. Easter is the resurrection to allow yourself to go through the metamorphosis of rising from the ashes. And the best way to do that is say, as we say every morning on our daily affirmative prayer call, there's a reason that I start the prayer call every morning with our declaration of healing. As I said last week, and I borrowed from Edwin Gaines, who in our class we showed a video clip of her saying, she was speaking in regards to forgiveness. Forgiveness, which is also synonymous with healing. She goes, here's the test if you needed to forgive anybody. Said this last week. Are you in a body? Yes. If you're in a body, then you probably have to forgive someone. If you're in a body, you're going to have to heal something. Whatever that is. If you are aware, here's real blasphemy. If you are aware of something that needs healing and you choose not to heal it, that's kind of blasphemy. Not blasphemy because God's going, and lightning and all kinds of blights and smites are going to start happening. No, that's not what it is. It's because I'm just thwarting the own radiance and effulgence of my own beingness. The Christ consciousness within you never goes anywhere. There's an omnipresence of you that has nothing to do with your personality. It is your divinity, and it knows exactly what to do. That's why we say listen to the gut. But if you were to follow the cosmology or how the gut works, there's a divine idea. This is why we have to meditate. With divine idea, it makes its way down from your soul into your heart. This is why we say listen to the heart. Then, this is the tricky part, you gotta get this to listen to this. This is gonna go, oh no, they're gonna hurt you. Oh no, you're setting yourself up for a fall. Oh no. You gotta be a house united within your own beingness. Thoughts, words, deeds, all on the same page of providential divine awareness, which means you're going to do things sometimes where your human self, your ego's going to be like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's kind of like, you need to go to the gym, and you have an appointment with the trainer, and you're like, but I just don't want to go. It's like, you're going to do it anyway. That's what you want to do in your spiritual practice, and please don't make the mistake. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen on the path of spiritual evolution, which I vow never to make this mistake. I know I've got plenty to learn, plenty to grow, plenty to evolve. I'm grateful for all that has been healed and evolved. But some people are like, oh, I know that already. Oh, yeah, I've already heard about that. Oh, I know how the chakras work. Oh, I know about that line of scripture. If you know it intellectually, but you aren't living it and owning it spiritually, and then you don't know it. You'll know it when you experience it. When you experience bliss, joy, beauty, harmony, kindness, compassion, and love without efforting, you'll know it's working. We want to move through and make sure that we understand. In science, there's an aspect in science, they call it biomimicry. Biomimicry is where you study the biology of nature, and then you mimic it, because wow, if you study nature, you'll find nature really knows how to do things. That's where rotating crops came from. Rotating crops is like, oh, if I plant the same crop in the same place all the time and I drain out all the nutrients that my crop needs, why is it after 6-7 years, my plants that I keep growing in the same place are growing like, whoa? And it's because the nature has a way of cultivating and refertilizing and bringing back all the nutrients. Biomimicry says, oh, look what nature does. The divine mind of God that brings forward nature. So we want to be involved in divine mimicry. We're going to allow ourselves to move into a place where we mimic the divine. The divine doesn't judge. The divine does not withhold. The divine only loves and blesses and caresses all the time. We are going to participate in divine mimicry and allow that to be part of our lives on a regular basis. Sounds easy, but when you come across, and I'll tell you, some people make this more difficult. When you think, a lot of people, they just want the rules. Like, give me the rules. That's where the 10 Commandments came from. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not use my name, God's name in vain. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Sometimes we think that only applies in a court of law. Oh yes, don't bear false witness against your neighbor. No, don't bear false witness against the truth of any kind. Don't bear false witness that something is against me. We want to understand, what do these commandments mean? Now, when they were kind of encapsulated, for most people, it was like, oh, just give me the 10 Commandments. I've got my bullet list of things to do. But how do you do that? How do you actually take any scriptural text and then allow it to be? It is easy. The formula is invite, evoke, allow. I become aware of that. Oh, what does it mean to not bear false witness? What does it mean to love your neighbor? Some people might think, oh, I gotta just love that person or that person, my next door neighbors, and I'm done. No, our neighbor is anybody else. That is who our neighbor is. We love our neighbor by loving everybody. If I'm not having a good experience with so-and-so, I'm afraid I got some bad news. You're going to have to bless so-and-so. You're going to have to bless them, really get into feeling it, knowing it, blessing it. If something isn't choreographing itself in harmony the way you'd like it, and then you're going to be still and go, what's seeking? Phoenix is getting to rise from the ashes. I am going to heal a perception, an erroneous knowingness, and I'm going to step into where I can then know what living prayer means. Living prayer means that every word that comes out of my mouth or even in my mind, if it doesn't even come out of my mouth, is a representation of truth and kindness and love and compassion. That might seem like a tall order. It's not. All you have to do is just, I think it was, what was the movie? I think it was Frozen. Just do the next right thing. Do the next right thing. I think that was from the movie Frozen. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. It was one of the Disney movies, just do the next right thing, which means whatever comes before you, just do what's right there. Don't think you have to go save the world and do 500 things and reinvent the wheel of your life. If you just do the next right thing with each thing that comes up to you, which means if I feel bad, then something is off. If I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, if I feel confused, if I feel guilty, if I feel ashamed, if I feel angry, if I feel resentful, something's off. Those are the keys that tell you you are straying from wholeness, you're straying from the divine. Ooh, the big one. The big one is blame. Blame, because man, your ego's going to try to convince you that I'm right and they're wrong. I don't know. And I have to get it together. And it's like, oh. Then you know what you do? You not only bless them, you hold a space for them. Now, this is the big one. If somebody does something out of integrity, and sometimes it's big, sometimes I get it. I've worked with a lot of people who have been abused physically. And I get it. That's a tough one. Because nobody should ever have to go through that. You've all heard the story of my abuse from the bullies and all of that stuff. And I would not wish that on anybody. At some point, we're going to have to transmute that. But what we first do is we do the next right thing, which the next right thing might be give myself space. I pull myself out of the equation. Then once I pull myself out of the equation of that, I have to give myself a safe space. Then I connect with the divine. Then don't miss that step. If you miss that step, you're going to be brought into temptation of fight or flight, worry, doubt responses that sometimes make things worse. They just dig a hole. What are you chasing? What are you after? And what are you really after? So when we got back to the gentleman with his wife and we found out what he was really after, and I was like, oh, now we're getting ready to cook with solar power. We're starting to dig into what you're really after. You're looking for an authentic connection of giving and receiving love, of feeling passion that does not come from the other individual. It comes from your connection with your soul, the connection with the divine. And when you start to infuse and impress upon the world that which you would like to experience in integrity, in congruence with the divine, and then you're cooking with solar power. And then you know you'll be in the behoove groove, allowing yourself to dance the cosmic dance and say, oh, I'm working the system. I'm working it. And I mean that with sincerity because when I have, and it takes that introspection, it takes being still, and sometimes it takes leaning in to someone who can hold it for you. We're not here to do this alone. You know, there's a reason we have spouses. Do you think spouses are this God-ordained thing? You need to be with one other person for the rest of your life and it has to be perfect and you don't screw it up? No, that's a human thing. There's a reason. I think maybe the closer thing to the actual thing is your BFF, your best friend. Best friend forever. We're going to have best friends forever with all kinds of people. So yes, all right, let's see. Did I have anything else? Oh, yeah, one other thing. I'm just going to wrap it up, sum it up. What are you trying to prove? Are you trying to prove something good, or are you trying to prove something that creates separation? Are you trying to prove things that unify, glorify, and expand the divine knowingness and energies of the eternal? Or are you trying to prove that there is something against me? Something is against me. My boss is against, oh, I lived that one real big time. So-and-so was against me. My boss was against me. The world was against me. The economy. No, you do not want to prove that. You want to prove the divine in your life. You want to say, okay, I'm going to get out my spiritual magnifying glass, and I want to prove what it means that God is my source and my supply, never withholding, never forsaking, always supplying. The universe never withholds, never forsakes, has never left, and as we said earlier, there is no hell. There is only the omnipresence, and heaven is available to those who say yes to it. And if you remember what it says in Proverbs, in all thy ways acknowledge God first, and God shall direct your ways. Acknowledge God first. It doesn't say go talk to so-and-so and get some bad advice. It doesn't say let your trauma body influence you and make you have bad decisions. It says go to God first and then let it be direct your ways. That takes a little finessing, a little caressing. But we're going to do it, yes?
Yes.
All right. So the next right thing is what we're all going to do. We're going to commit. Little back up. Yes, the declaration. The declaration that I say every morning is, with regards to healing, I am allowing healing, transmutation, transformation, alchemy. This would be of anything that is not functioning at full divine magnificence, in benevolent, brilliant, elegant, efficient, immediate, immaculate, divine, holy, grace-filled, graceful, joy-filled, joyful ways. That is what we're saying yes to. If you have something that needs healing physically, if you have something that needs emotional or mental, you're going to allow yourself to resurrect and rise into the energy and know there's a small percentage of people that when they go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, a lot of them are like looking at all the artifacts, and there's the place where the cross was. There's a hole in the ground where the crucifixion took place, and some people are like, they just want to put their hand in there and feel it, but what are they really after? They don't probably know it, but they're after, what is it like to feel resurrected? To feel resurrected, to rise from the ashes and be, I almost hesitate to say be born anew. It's really just return to your eternal self. That's all it really is. You're allowing the stuff to burn off that is not of your true nature. So instead of trying to find facts and trying to prove things from the temporal world, we're going to prove things of the eternal world on a regular basis. We're all in agreement with that?
Yes.
All right, cool. Cool. We're going to go ahead. We're going to do our closing prayer right now, or just a prayer. And I'm going to invite you to join me as we tune and turn within. We take the holy breath. The breath of light, the breath of beauty, the breath of Christ consciousness, the breath of enlightenment, the breath of self-realization, the breath of freedom. We breathe it in. We know that these energies are omnipresent and they are omnipotent. They are the true energies that govern the universe. God Almighty is God, all good, all love, all peace, all joy. We begin to understand the divine, we begin to understand God, whether we call it Jehovah, Allah, Yahweh, Elohim, Adonai, the Creator, the Great One, the universe, or love. God Almighty in the flesh is Christ consciousness expressing itself as you, as me. We say yes to the purest, humblest, holiest expression of being in the world but not of the world. We choose to heal and expand only in benevolent and beautiful ways, for that is the nature of God. That is the nature of capital L life. Capital L life is what undergirds the human experience, and it is always heavenly, and it is always good, capital G good. We return to the beginning in our own lives. We allow for benevolent rejuvenation, regeneration, and revelation, for it is the truth that sets us free. The truth sets us free. The truth heals everything. The absolute truth, the capital T truth, the truth of providence, the truth of divine illumination. We choose today, I will only be motivated, I will only be invigorated, I will only be led by the absolute truth. The truth in knowing that all my brothers and sisters around the world are divine emanations of the Most High. We may not see that in behavior, but underneath that, there is a holy being of angelic light. We choose to correspond and connect with that in this world, in this life, in this body. I am grateful to know that each and every one of us has everything we need in our spiritual DNA, which has never experienced corruption, has never experienced anything other than pure, blissful, divine, holy illumination. We return to the beginning, the eternal, and we allow ourselves to root it, anchor it, know it, bloom it, and blossom it in every area of our lives. We allow the next right thing to be divinely led, ordained, and anointed. We resurrect and we allow ourselves to shine our own individualized experience of Christ consciousness. We allow it to be here, these and greater things we have been charged to do, and we choose to do that right here, right now. And it is from deep thanksgiving, knowing that the highest, purified, golden, most glorious experience and expression of our good already exists in the mind of God, and we allow it to be right here, right now, claiming it as a done, letting it unfurl and unfold itself elegantly, serendipitously, joyously, synergistically, benevolently by saying, and so I let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen. 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 Ashe. Aho. Mahalo. Shalom. Hotep. And hallelujah. All right. All right. We're going to have the usher angels come forward. And we are going to, this is the part of our service where we participate in circulation or tithing, the law of circulation. And there are many ways if you would like to tithe to our community from the overflowing abundance consciousness. And that would be, one of the ways you can do it is if you're sitting here, they will be going in a moment, or actually, they're going to go right now. And you can put donations of cash or checks or whatever in the baskets. Some of you might have butterflies, and those mean you're on the auto tithe system. You can also text the word GIVE to area code 669-342-2157. You can Venmo at Soul Center OC, but it's under the business heading. For those of you at home, you can use all of those. You can see them on the screen. You can mail a check in if you so desire, or you can just click on the Give button. All of it is safe and secure. And all of it is received with deep thanksgiving and knowing that we will circulate this on your behalf, knowing you are not giving of yours, but you are allowing it to come back to you minimally tenfold. We are just the custodians that circulate the energy of the divine, and we allow it to expand. With that being said, as we take care of that, take it away.
This song is dedicated to Patricia. She used to love when I would sing it, so I think today is a beautiful day to sing for her and for all of them. Holy, holy, yes. Dream of Sing it out, sing
already ready to go. Where we extend our hearts and our prayers through our hands. This is when we hold up our hands, and we're extending a blessing upon the offering. We just take a moment in deep gratitude, knowing that you can never outgive the divine, and that we are the conduit that allows its bounty, its magnificence to flow through to and as our lives. We are the bountiful, we are the beautiful, born in the image and likeness of the divine, and we say yes, knowing unlimited resources, unlimited supply are to bless through us and for us and to us. We are divinely receptive and we are divinely generous. We circulate it in all good, in all ways. And I'm grateful for this offering, knowing that we allow it to return to each and every one of us individually and collectively multiplied. We allow it to be good, knowing all needs are met. This is the promise on the promissory note, and it is the promise of the divine. We allow it to be good. We allow it to be so. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
The two Soul Center babies were both with us in the Enlightened Kids Village today, and the message is obviously being reborn, and we have Sadie who was born through Soul Center, and Soleil born through Soul Center, so it's a beautiful day in the Enlightened Kids Village, and baby Luna also, that's true, baby Luna is not here, but you're right, she's a Soul Center baby too. So today the message was how to, every day or every moment is an opportunity to choose again, and have a new thought, a new idea that can be birthed through you. And then we made positive affirmation eggs that Sadie, we were going to have the kids take home to do a family egg hunt, but Sadie would like to pass them out here. So please get a positive affirmation egg at some point before you leave. And happy Easter, everyone.
This is the part of our service, including all of you at home, where we're going to rise and we're going to sing our peace song, our closing song. The words are in your program if you want to sing along with us, which we highly encourage.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, love authority. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this begin with me. Let this be our moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song of vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Invite you all to open your hands in the prayer pose as we move into this prayer even more. How grateful I am to know something wonderful is seeking to experience and express itself blissfully. We have ignited a contagion of good here today. We are accepting our divine consciousness, our Christ consciousness, our Buddha consciousness, our enlightenment right here, right now. We are growing and glowing, taking this with us always, evolving our human experience from a soulful, benevolent, joy-filled way. We say yes and allow it to be, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes. All right. For those of you live, it's good to see you. Happy Passover, happy Easter,